Ooh, we're here. Hello, my loves. A couple of little technical issues. That was fun. Let's see. We all set up and breathe. It's always a bit interesting when it's like, okay, that shouldn't be doing that. So today we're going to be talking about rest and processing. Oh, I feel like I need a sip of water. I'm in my big baggy trousers and it's all gone a bit haywire. And this is so on point, because the first thing I wanted to talk with you about was, remember the other day we were talking about the 3 stages of the fight or flight process, and that there is the arousal state, you know, the stimulation, the saber-toothed tiger, and that's your first stage. And then your second stage is that place of, okay, we're going to run away, we're going to fight off the saber-toothed tiger, running. And then the third stage is recovery, which is the point at which your body is supposed to simmer down and shake off the energy and just go decompress. And quite often we miss that third stage because we're too busy being busy. So, anyway, who taught us that crap that we should be busy all the time? Who taught us that blooming rubbish that, you know, that there is like this, we're not succeeding unless we're doing? I fully believe that all of us have a huge amount of potential that we may wish to fulfill. We may wish to fulfill. It is personal choice. And that's, you know, that's great. Some of us have got a purpose. Some of us know what we're here to do. That's awesome. And if you don't know what it is, that's also totally fine. I don't know about you, I am a child of the 80s, born in the 70s, child of the 80s, and as a child of the 80s, I had a mother who was very much like, you can do anything you want to do and be anything you want to be, and now you can watch me doing all the things and being a wife and being a mother and having a full-time job and then going to university in the evenings, and I also have hobbies, but I don't really have time to spend with my friends, and I'm feeling quite tired now. It's really quite tired. And you just see like a lot of these like role models of the 80s were like knackered. There was a lot of burnout going on. And so we kind of get caught in that trap energetically, that we should be doing instead of just being. Now, I'm always super interested in those. You ever met any of those people who are like, sleep's for wimps? And that whole, you know, it's like Margaret Thatcher. She used to sleep for 4 hours a day. Yay, and look what that did for us. Hello, sorry I'm late, there was tech issues, and it's like, but we're here and we're talking about rest. So that idea that, you know, sleep is for other people, and I'm like, no, dude, sleep is amazing and it's incredible. And sleep deprivation sucks. Anyone who's had like an unreasonable night's sleep knows how narky they can feel, but there are like long-term effects of not having enough sleep, you know? It's like decreased immune function, increased opportunity to have heart disease, decreased libido, decreased fertility. I think there's a link to diabetes, and it's just like, ugh. So there's sleep, and sleep's important, and sleep hygiene, super important, you know, about turning off screens and not taking your phone up to bed and giving yourself the opportunity to relax down. And we have to consider all these things now because we are so freaking busy. Whereas there is rest, and rest I think is same but different. So rest is super important, and we're going to be talking about that. So did you know the word rest comes from the German word Raster, which means league of miles? Like, you've walked a freaking long way, dude. Have some rest. Rest for me is about nurturance, and it is about care. It's about stopping doing and taking time to just be. And I'd love to hear about your ways to rest as well, and that's going to be part of our little experiment later. Rest for me isn't about watching TV. I don't think there's, or scrolling. Oh, we all love a good scroll. That's not particularly restful, is it? It's like there's a lot of stimulation on the eyes, there's a lot of blue lights, there's just a lot of information, there's a lot of quick images, and it's just like more scintillation. So when I think about rest, I think about it in terms of renewal, and I think about it in terms of repair. Athletes, they have rest days. Rest days are important because it gives the body an opportunity to take control of that kind of cellular regeneration without having any more force put upon the system. So we're not overloading an already full mind, which, whoa, in this year, there's been a lot to fill our minds, really, hasn't there? Where is it? I wrote it down. There's a gorgeous Leonardo da Vinci quote. Every now and then, go away, have a little relaxation, for when you come back to work, your judgment will be surer. Oh, I like that one. Another lovely one is from Ovid, who was a Roman poet. Take a rest. A field that has rested gives a bountiful crop. You just have to look at Glasgow for that, don't you? Like the Glastonbury Festival, it runs for 2 years or 3 years and then it takes a year off. Because the ground needs to be fallow. The ground needs to do nothing. The ground needs to recover from that constant impact of a festival. And seriously, if we're looking for metaphors, that's pretty much where your body is that constant pounding of life upon your body. And rest, that fallow period of doing nothing, makes all the difference. Gives you the opportunity to decrease your stress levels, to take a breath, to become mindful of the things that you are doing and mindful of the ways that you are responding. Remember, we were talking on Wednesday about the pause. It's that moment between the stimulus and the response. So, got an experiment for you to try at some point after this class. What I would like you to do is I'd like you to take an hour. And already in my head I want to go, no, you can make that 30 minutes. No, you're going to take an hour. And this is obviously like how I can't ask people to take 60 minutes out of their life to do a thing. Oh my gosh, they're too busy. It's the weekend. You've got evenings. So you're going to take an hour and you're going to turn off the TV and the laptop and the tablet. You're going to put your phone away. You're not going to go near any kind of internetiness or screenness. Find a comfy, cozy place or a hammock, awesome, or lie on the grass. But for 1 hour, I just want you to be with the world. You can read a book. I suppose you could do some art, but mostly just take that time to rest. And I want you then, afterwards, to have a little jot down, and I'll pop this in the group afterwards. So, first question is how did it feel? How did it feel to take 60 minutes off? To do nothing with no expectations for 60 minutes. How did that feel? And could you do it? How many times did you bob up and go, oh, I just need to go to the loo, or just going to go make a cup of tea, or you know, that washing needs folding up, or what are you doing, child? Stop playing with the dog. Any of those things. Obviously, you know, if you have to go sort them out, try and organise a time in your day when you're not going to be like managing other situations. But take an hour and rest, and then report back and tell me how it felt. Tell me if it was easy it was tricky. And if it was tricky, why was it tricky? What were the feelings, what were the emotions that were coming up with that? I'd also like to just point out that rest in my world can be active. So active rest is those kind of meditative, mundane, repetitive tasks. Washing up. That's quite restful in my world. Painting. Doodling. Nothing where you have to kind of really engage logical, rational thought though. Gardening, that's a lovely one. Sketching, stretching, just gentle, mindful activities where you're doing, you could be going for a stroll, but not creaking up a hill. Those for me are also restful activities because it kind of takes you out of your everyday. It takes you out of your regular headspace of making decisions and looking at evidence and being in the real world, and then it takes you into a place where you are just settling and letting all that information just like... What's always interesting is the thoughts that come to you, those like sparks of inspiration, those aha moments, where you're just like, oh, I hadn't quite worked it in that manner, and that makes more sense. And that's the wonder of rest, and that's why it's so important. Because when we stop bombarding ourselves with fresh information, it gives our brains the opportunity to make sense of the world around us. I think at the beginning of lockdown, quite a lot of people were saying that their dreams had become more lucid. And it was exactly that. It was like, with all this new stimulation that was happening during the day, when we got to the night time, in our sleep, our brains were chunking the pieces of data and finding ways to make sense of the world in the way that it now existed. Sleep and rest. Such a cool thing. So, rest is about that third stage of recovery. Rest is about allowing ourselves to process and to renew and to replenish. They always say you can't fill from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can fill an empty cup, you can't pour from an empty cup. It's almost like we all have built-in FOMO now, that fear of missing out on a thing, and it's like, I've got to keep doing and keep up with everyone, and I'm comparing myself to this person and that person, and social media is so bad for it. And having a social media hibernation, taking those apps off your phone for a week or so, can do the world of good, because you're not having to process all the information. You're not constantly comparing yourself to other people. It does a huge service to you to take your phone out of your bedroom, because if you're still thinking about the world out there as you're trying to fall off to sleep, you just end up in this really kind of, for some people, a real kind of anxious, buzzy place, rather than just allowing your body to settle. So, I mentioned the other day that I was going to talk to you about one of my courses, which I will be running from Tuesday the 25th of August. I'm excited, I love running this course. So this course is called Creative and Rested. Follows on beautifully from the work that we've been doing this week. So if you've been enjoying the videos, you might want to check this out. Because I believe that whether we are artists or healers or therapists or gardeners or creators and makers, if we've got like that creative part of our soul, if creativity is like a real core of who we are, then we do have this, often we have this thing where we just want to give and give and give. We want to give our love and our talent and our work and our time, and we're really good at always giving. And then there is a point in which we feel as though we are a bit of a husk. We are just a little dried out. And so Creative and Rested is about really delving into that channel which is between the mind and the hands, you know, between the heart and the soul and the physical fleshiness of the body. All of those kind of sinews and exertions and kind of muscular power and might that we have within us that we use in our creativity, even if that's just sat at a laptop. We are kind of constantly using our physical body to allow us to create. And as we were looking at the other day, there's a real connection between how you're feeling and your mind and your physicality. So creative and rested is about really bringing care and bringing nurturance into ourselves. So if the creative process is about perspiration and inspiration, creative and rested is this element of nurturing that runs through so that you can keep perspiring on your work. That sounds horrible, but you can still be inspired as well. The thing that I love with creative and rested is that we look at every single part of you, from the soles of your feet all the way to the tips of your fingers. Like, there are powerful tools within you through your hands, your shoulders, your ability to sit and feel comfortable in your body for long periods of time to allow you to focus. And we look at all of this. We look at like those, you know, if you do a lot of manual work with your hands, those kind of little arm muscles and tendons and hand muscles that allow you to create such intricate movements. We really work on softening those muscles and softening the connections as they have up through shoulders and torso and hips. And if you're a person who's easily fascinated by the body, you will love how it's all, I tend to do this a lot because that's how the body appears to me. It's like this web, this tissue, the fascia, it all comes together. So, I'll drop the link in the comments, and if you'd like to have a look, please do. The lowdown on it is that we get started on Tuesday the 25th of August. It's 12 weeks. And within those 12 weeks, we have 9 modules spread out. The course itself is £385, but as you've been on the Wonder experiment, I'm going to discount that to £285. So I'm going to hold that open until Sunday night, which is Sunday the 9th of August. I'll hold that £285 offer open to you until midnight on Sunday. Also, I am inviting the first 6 people who come and join the course to come join me in a clarity group. And we'll meet after each class, at a set point during that week after the class. And during that time, you can bring your questions, you can get some technique tweaking as we learn, because a lot of the work we're going to be doing is with a roller and also with our hands. This is a really hands-on course. So I'm going to be teaching you physically how to soften your body and how to really get into that tissue and allow yourself to really melt into yourself. So the clarity group is going to be about tweaking technique, asking extra questions, going a little deeper into the connections. So that's available for the first 6 people who join as well. And if it really appeals to you and you totally want to geek out, there's a one-to-one VIP option as well, where we get to spend proper time really getting into the gunk and really clearing all that energy out. So the course is for you if you would like to be guided on how to set boundaries, if you'd like to awaken your curiosity further, if you want to better understand your potential and your intuitive skills. If you desire to create that next level of your work that's going to really unleash your creativity. If you want to trust yourself more deeply, which is huge for a lot of us creatives, and get really grounded so that you can really go into that space of confidence. And we're going to look really deeply at stress and how it impacts the systems of your body, and I'll be showing you ways that you can work with the muscles and with the lymph system and just generally all of that physicalness that creates the wonder that you are. So like I said, I'm going to drop the link in the comments. It would be wonderful to have you with me. Don't forget the experiment for today. I'd love to hear about how you get on with spending an hour just being. So let me know how that feels for you. Let me know what was good, what was weird, what was downright awful. Alrighty, my loves. It has been wonderful this week. I hope you have gained much from our time together. If you've been watching the replays, please let me know. Sending you lots of love, and hopefully we'll be together again on Creative and Rested. Take care now. I'll see you later. Bye.